Hey, everybody, we have crossed that threshold. We ran across that goal line. Black Investments Matter. The Ujamaa Network has become a YouTube partner. We are monetized now. Let me show you how we did it and what steps you could take to shorten your journey. First off and foremost, before you get any ideas, there really are no good shortcuts to doing it. You just have to put in the work. I'm going to go down the list of some of the key things that I found that has been extremely helpful in getting this brand to where it is right now. By no means is this a short feat. A lot of content creators just stop right in the middle of the process because it does take more than a little bit of luck. It takes a lot of hard work. And some of the work, if you don't really enjoy it, it's not going to really pay off for you. So you have to first, come up with a niche, something that is unique to you, something that will hit on all cylinders. Now, did I do that? I knew what I wanted to talk about, but is that what people want to see? Now, if your goal is strictly to get out there and get popular and get popping and have a whole lot of content or just get a whole lot of views, this may not work for you. What I'm doing, or what I started off, what I envisioned was the instructionals, the tutorials, how-to videos. What I've found in my time going towards this goal is it's not always that content that people want to see. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. This is a whole different game than what it is. And it has to do a lot with what people consume and why they are consuming it. There's one thing to provide something that people need, like this channel. If you're looking for some particular information, a search algorithm is going to get you to me eventually. However, what has happened, what I have realized in the time that it's taken me to get monetized is that if you are trying to fill that niche, it's just going to be those people who are looking for that information. It's going to be very difficult to get the 1,000 or subscribers, or 500 subscribers even, just to hit that first tier of partnership with YouTube. The other thing is the 3,000 watched hours. Now, I'm going to give you the range and what I'm seeing around how many months or years even it's taken some people to become partners. Some people have done it within 4 months. That's because they had a plan. They knew what they were going to be putting out there and how often they were going to be putting it out there. Those things factor in tremendously. If you take it by the numbers, if we're averaging 10 minutes videos, it's something like 240 10-minute videos hitting around, I don't know, say 240 of those videos, and having to be up there about 100 times that. That gets you what, a few hours, 2,400 hours, something around there. If you get that many hours, you're not far off. But let's face it, some of the content I put out there, me personally, they're not getting 100 views. Now, there are some stories that I was doing that I had to adjust my framework a little bit that could get 20,000 views, even on a small channel like mine. Some of my tutorials that I put out here, they got about 6,000 views within a month, which are pretty good. But you're not turning into all of those into subscriptions. People are not watching those videos until the end. And it is going to make your hours look a little anemic when it comes down to it. So putting out your content, putting out a good amount of hours watched. And the most important thing, this is the number 2 thing, know your audience. Sometimes if your goal is to try to get more likes and subscriptions, you got to talk about what people are talking about. That was a hard lesson for me. My focus still had to be on what I got into this thing for. I started off with crypto, and I'm still doing crypto. But as you know, especially during those lean years, especially last year when people kind of lost favor, especially with like things like helium and all the scandals that were going down with like Sam Bankman-Fried, and the value of the coins dropping so much, and all the deregulation talk, it took a toll on that audience. People were falling out of love with cryptocurrency and those NFTs that nobody are talking about right now. They were starting to look like, the regular pump and dump kind of thing. But as we now see Bitcoin back over $65,000, over 70,000, and came back down, the interest is back. Regulation is kind of at a standstill right now because this is an election year, and now people are getting interested in it again. There are cycles to these things, right? It's not so with what I'm going to tell you next, and that is the simple truth of the matter. People love mess. Yeah, I said it. If you have to question that, let me tell you what happened to me. I started off about a year and a half ago. Now, in that year and a half, I had suffered a major hardware failure. I had to actually go out and purchase a new PC. Actually, I built it, but it took me some time to gather that money, so I was offline for 4 or 5 months. So in actuality, my complete time to get those views and get those likes was somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 months, somewhere in there. That's by far not the fastest, but it's definitely not the longest that average content creators put in the work. I've seen people hit those numbers, both the 500 subscriptions and the 3,000 watched hours, and uploading 2 or 3 videos a month, where they're hitting those numbers within 4 months, depending on your target audience, depending on what you're talking about, and how popular your channel is. If you're doing any promotions. Now, I'm deliberately not talking about any clickbait or robocallers or whatever like that, because that's just cheating. It's cheating the system, and it's cheating you out of an education. I have learned so much, and this is the third thing. Learning how to move in this industry. I look at other content creators. I watch other channels, not for just the entertainment factor, but what they had to offer. There was one show, and I'm going to give him a shout out, The Angry Man. I would call into the show, actually, leave a couple of dollar chat or whatever. In between the hot button topics that he was advertising, that lead up in his live streams, I'm still learning. He's talking about a lot of stuff, and that's a way you can diversify what you're talking about, because there are a lot of people who come for the topic that's being advertised, but there are some jewels that this individual particular has dropped that made a lot of sense, especially when it came to this YouTube thing. Getting your monetization settled is something of a goal post for you. Once you get it, you're going to now start to see why these content creators move the way they do. The memberships, the tools, the supers, the donations, That's things that you get paid for. You do not get AdSense revenue until you actually hit that 4,000 uh, watched hour mark with your 1,000 subscribers. You know, that's that. YouTube makes the ad money until then. So if you're like me, you cross that 500 subscriber barrier. You've been uploading your 3 videos per 90 days and you got your 3,000 watched hours. That just gets you your supers and your memberships and gets your chat room going. Now it's time for you to start focusing on lives. Like up until now, and even now, I just been doing these kind of podcasts. And that is how I've been getting my message out. Now I see that the content I've been putting out, I'm going to have to start segmenting it. Some of this content is now going to be members only. Some of the content that you're seeing, the how-to videos, I might have you hit that like and subscribe and become a member just so you can get that information. It's still not going to cost you anything. But in order for you to see it, you have to become a member. And membership is going to be a little bit, like I try to keep it low, but I'll put out enough content that's still free so that you can get it. But those in-depth tutorials, and we'll go over the pricing of the channel at some other time. But this video is all about that journey. And in that journey, we're talking about the things that I've learned, the things that I still have to learn, and why you should be going at it. So let me sum up what it is that I think you need to focus on. Number one, let's talk about your niche, okay? What message you're trying to put out there. What are you trying to accomplish? All right. If you just want to become a YouTube sensation, it's whatever. No holds barred. But if you try to come at it like I did with a specific topic in mind, it may take you a little bit more time because you have to gauge that market. Now, number two, once you have that market, what kind of content are you putting out there? Do you want to contribute to the problem? This is where I'm at right now. I found early on that it was going to take me forever, if at all, just focusing on crypto and investing. All right. I started putting out videos about some of the things that were happening in my locale. We had that racist receipt situation down here in Atlanta. I talked about that, got 20,000 views. Each one of my Georgia elections interference videos, a good number of them, they've all reached in the hundreds, if not thousands of views. And that's within the last 3 months. And that's kind of what pushed this thing over the edge. People were so in tune to that one story. It didn't matter if I was talking about the run-up on Bitcoin. I did a spot on that. If you had listened to it and popped a couple of dollars in the day I did it, you would have saw your money kind of flip, but people didn't pay attention to that. And that's what I mean about focusing on our content and making sure you're getting your audience grown if that's your goal. Now, the conflict within me right now is, do you want to contribute to this sour kind of atmosphere? People just love mess. So keep that in mind. And the third thing, you've got your topics, your content. You've identified your target market. Now it's all about you. It's all about you. How much work you're going to put in it. It's as simple as that. There's no magic pill to it. You know. Finally, I'm just going to let you know about some of the things that I've been going through with it. With monetization, there's a responsibility that you need to take into consideration too. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to say whatever. about your content. Those are people you're gonna have to learn to develop a thick skin. People will talk about everything from how horrible you sound or whatever nonsense that people talk about. Again, it's that culture of hatred that people have towards anything, and it will take the time out, mind you, take the time out of their busy day just to click like and subscribe so they can write some critique of you, right? Develop a thicker skin. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. And learn how to get real good on that block and hide button. Okay? That's going to be the best advice I can give you. I'm going to give you more tips inside of my paid content. I'm going to show you how to move within the YouTube channel to set up those things. I might go over a view on a free one, but I'm definitely going to go in depth on my membership channel. Make sure you're now joining, then hitting like and subscribe. And I will talk to you about that very, very soon.